Hi friends, my name is Riley, and welcome to another video. Or welcome to your first video if this is your first video of mine. Today I'm just going to jump right into it and say I want to talk to you about 4 underrated coping mechanisms. Coping mechanisms are things we all use for various reasons, whether it be mental illness or stress. They can be used for a variety of different things and in a variety of different situations. And today I just wanted to talk about 4 specific coping mechanisms that I just think are completely underrated and not talked about enough. So maybe you'll find one in here that you haven't heard of before that you can try out that might help you. That is the goal. So without further ado, let's jump on into it. Everyone knows of traditional coping mechanisms. Things like meditating, journaling, exercising, and distracting. Sometimes they do work, but oftentimes I personally feel like they're not enough. So here are the 4 things that I think are vastly underrated coping mechanisms. The first thing is visualization. This is sometimes used in meditation, but it can also be used outside of meditation, and that's more so what I'm talking about right now. Visualization is forming the mental image of something, usually the image of something you want to be or something you want to achieve. I find visualizing myself in a safe, happy, and stable environment helps me feel like I'm in that place in real life. And some really good examples of visualization that I like to do are visualizing intrusive or persistent negative thoughts as like bubbles. Imagine you're blowing your thought into a bubble and then viewing that bubble and watching it float away until it, boom, pops. And then you see that thought pop and watch it dissipate. And you can do a similar thing with throwing tiny pebbles down a stream and visualizing your thoughts as that. These are skills that I learned early on in therapy, and I use them daily, honestly, and I find them super helpful. It is difficult to do at first, and it does require a lot of practice, and I'm sure I will end up doing a more in-depth video about these visualization tips in the future, but I did want to mention them in this video because I think it is vastly underrated. Thing number 2 is vent edits and vent art. I see people talking about vent art sometimes, not super often, but I don't see people talking about vent edits, and I think vent edits are a lot more accessible and readily available for normal people than vent art. I personally am not that great at creating physical art that I am happy with or that is great at getting out a lot of the emotions that I have internally, but what I am good at is editing photos on apps like PixArt. And you can use these photo editing apps to create vent edits, very similar to vent art style art pieces, to get your emotions out and express them in a safe and healthy way. I'll put an example up here on the screen, and this is just an example of a vent art that I would do. It's not an actual vent art. I did make it, but it's not a personal one to me. It's just an example of one that I would do to show you guys kind of what you can do. I mainly use PixArt to create these, and they have tons of stickers and different editing tools you can use. It is a really accessible, fun, and cathartic way of expressing your emotions safely. And you don't have to share these images anywhere. You can keep them for yourself in a little folder on your phone, or you can just delete them right after. It's up to you what you want to do with them. But showing these little pieces of vent art to a therapist could also be a really good way of conveying your emotions if you're having a difficult time doing that through verbalizing them. The third coping mechanism, you know I could not get through a video talking about coping without talking about this, is, of course, age regression. Age regression is when you mentally revert back to an age younger than your biological age. It is most often done for coping purposes, and it can be done voluntarily or involuntarily. I have an entire YouTube channel dedicated to all things age regression if you want to learn more about it. I will have it linked down in the description below, or you can just search Riley's Little Space on YouTube and it'll be the first thing that pops up. It is a great great way to feel your emotions to the fullest extent and re-experience childlike wonder and joy. And it helps you see things from a more simple perspective. You're not overthinking things as much, because being in the mindset of a child, you're thinking a lot simpler. Plus, engaging in those childlike activities like coloring and watching cartoons can really help de-stress and calm your brain in ways that engaging in adult activities can't. So again, if you want more information all about age regression, I really suggest checking out my entire channel about it. I have educational videos as well as just other content for while you're regressed. I don't want to spend too much time talking about this here because that's not what this channel is for, but I did feel the need to mention it in this video because I use it all the time, and I do feel the coping mechanism is vastly underrated. And for the final underrated coping mechanism I have to share with you today is sensory play. Now, it's not necessarily childlike play, but just engaging your senses. Take the time to smell nice things. Eat food, but eat food with intention, and make sure you're taking the time to taste all of the flavors and textures of the food. Listen to music that you love the sound of. Look at things that are pleasing to the eye. Touch things that are soft or rough or that feel good on your fingers. Let yourself engage with all of your senses to the fullest extent without also simultaneously engaging in something else. You will be absolutely amazed at how directly engaging your senses can help you feel better and can help distract you. I have an entire bag of sensory toys that I keep next to my bed and next to my seat at all times. I take it with me when I go places, so I have that stuff with me. It's always nice to have something small with you, so whether you take an aromatherapy bracelet with you, or take a small squishy that you can squish in your hand with you somewhere, so you can distract yourself and use this coping mechanism in the middle of something when you need to. Or skip away for a second and listen to some music and listen to a song and fully immerse yourself into that. People will say, oh, listening to music, it's a great coping mechanism, but they're saying, oh, listen to music while doing X, Y, and Z. Try listening to a song and fully engaging with the song, fully engaging with your senses. You might be surprised at how it helps. Those are the 4 underrated coping mechanisms that I have to share with you today. I hope you found something new here that you can take away and try for yourself. I did have to refilm this video, so I hope the refilm was okay. The audio the first time around was just real bad. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content from me, I make loads of stuff from journaling, mental health content, sometimes LGBT content. I mean, pretty much anything you can think of on this channel. You can subscribe. I try to post about a video a week. But I also have an entire channel about age regression and a vlog channel that are linked down in the description if you want even more content from me. You can follow me on Pinterest if you would like. It is at the Riley Kyle. And that is all I have for you today. I love you guys very, very much, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.